You know, development is a word we hear thrown around constantly. But what does it actually mean? I bet it's not what you think. In this explainer, we're going to dig in and find out.
Okay, let's just jump right in. When I say the word development, what's the first image that pops into your head? Is it, about a country's bank account just getting fatter? More income for everybody? A rising GDP?
Or maybe you picture those gleaming skyscrapers, right? Sprawling cities, the kind of classic signs of progress we see on TV. And look, those things are definitely part of the story. But is that the whole story? What if, by focusing only on that stuff, we're missing the most important part? What it means for people's lives to actually get better. All right, first things first, let's start with a really simple but crucial fact. Development doesn't mean the same thing to everyone. And why is that? Well, because our lives and what we need are fundamentally different. So think about it. For a landless rural laborer, development means survival. It's about having more days of work, getting better wages, and maybe, just maybe, having a good local school for their kids. But for an industrialist, development is all about expansion. They need more electricity for their factories, which, often means building more large dams. And right there, those two visions of progress can slam right into each other. And this gets to the heart of it. What is development for one person might not just be not development for someone else, it might actually be destructive. That dam that brings power to the factory, it can completely wipe out the homes and livelihoods of thousands of people. One person's progress is literally another's destruction. Okay, so this whole conflict brings us to the way we usually try to measure development, and that's by looking at average income. But let me tell you, averages can be incredibly misleading. They can lie. Just take a look at this. We've got two imaginary countries, country A and country B. And if you just look at the numbers, they have the exact same average income, 10,000, right down the middle. So on paper, they look equally developed, right? Same average income. But here's the real question. Would you be equally happy living in either one of them? I'm guessing not. That average, that single number, is hiding a massive truth about how the money is really spread around. In country A, things are pretty balanced. The money is distributed more or less evenly. Nobody is extremely rich, but nobody is extremely poor either. People are doing okay. But then you look at country B, and it is a totally different world. You have 4 citizens who are living in extreme poverty, while one single person is fabulously wealthy. That average of $10,000, it tells you absolutely nothing about the reality of life for most people in that country. So, okay, if income alone is such a flawed way to look at things, how can we get a truer picture? Well, let's move from fiction to reality and look at a real-world example from India. All right, if you just look at per capita income, the state of Haryana seems more developed than the state of Kerala. On average, people there make more money. So case closed, right? Haryana wins. Well, not so fast. Let's look at something else, like a key health indicator. In Haryana, for every 1,000 babies born, a heartbreaking 28 of them die before they even reach their first birthday. Now look at Kerala. That number is just 6. That is a huge difference. And it tells you something really important. Money isn't everything. A higher income doesn't automatically mean a better quality of life. And this is exactly why experts came up with a better tool, the Human Development Index, or the HDI. It's brilliant because it doesn't just look at money. It creates a bigger picture by combining income with other crucial things like health and education. And when you use the HDI, the picture changes dramatically. Just look at this data. Our neighbor Sri Lanka is ranked way ahead of India, even though we have a much larger economy. And look at Nepal and Bangladesh. They have lower per capita incomes, but they actually outperform us in key areas like life expectancy. It's powerful proof that true development is about the overall well-being of people, not just the size of the economy. But wait, we're not done yet. There's one final, absolutely critical layer we have to add to this conversation. Is all this progress we're making today coming at the expense of our future? Think about it. The resources that fuel our current model of development, they're not infinite. They're gonna run out. I mean, at the rate we're going right now, the world's known crude oil reserves will be gone in less than 50 years. That's not some far-off, distant problem for our grandkids. That's in our lifetime. And that right there raises the massive question of sustainability. You see, true development can't just be for us right now. It has to be able to last so that future generations have at least the same opportunities that we do, and hopefully even better. Okay, so After peeling back all these layers and challenging our basic assumptions, where does that leave us? Well, we've seen that just looking at income isn't nearly enough. We've learned that averages can be dangerous lies, and we've realized that sustainability isn't just a nice idea, it's absolutely non-negotiable. The goal here isn't to find one single perfect number that tells us if we're developed. The goal is to have a much better, much more honest conversation about what we're all trying to achieve together.
Ultimately, the debate over what development really means is going to continue. And that's because it's a fundamental question about our shared goals as a society. It's asking us, where do we want to go? What kind of society do we want to become? It's about defining what a truly better life looks like for everyone, both now and for the generations to come. Thanks so much for watching.